Hello YouTube, it's been a while since I made a video, so I just wanted to make a quick video. Um, I noticed there's not as many high beam idiots on the road as there once was. And just to be clear, there are purposes for one setting to your headlights and the other. I've explained this in previous videos. As far as the law in Wisconsin is concerned, you can't shine that shit at other drivers within 500 feet. The exact measurement may vary by state law, so if you live in a different state, check your state law regarding this issue. All I gotta say is, I notice it's not nearly as prevalent of a problem as it once was. I don't know if they've either been fined and they finally decide to stop being stupid, because if it's a financial incentive not to be stupid, maybe that will be enough for some to not be, if there's money involved. But anyways, I notice it's not as prevalent as it once was. And I just want to say to all those high beam idiots, well, I mean, not my audience, unless you just so happen to be one yourself, but thank you for finally being courteous to some extent. Thank you for not being an asshole everywhere you go by having your high beams on within 500 feet of other drivers, even when you're in town and you're driving down a well-lit street. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the only time that high beams actually are necessary is when driving down an exceptionally dark roadway, such as a country road at nighttime, not just because it's nighttime and not just because it's a country road, but because both of those at the same time, so long as it's not being shown to other drivers within the 500 feet, that's the law rule. But as far as having them on in town, I almost never have them on in town. Like, I would just say I never do, because, like, it's not necessary in town. And as far as the law is concerned, if you're driving in town, there will almost always be another vehicle within 500 feet of where that shit is being shown at. Another thing to keep in mind is that ignorance is not an excuse for breaking the law. And even if you have certain conditions like exceptional difficulty seeing in the dark, that's not an excuse either. If you've got some sort of automated high beam assist, that's not an excuse either. You are still held accountable by the law. Not even law enforcement is above the law. So, thank you to everybody who's always had it right, and if you're just recently getting it right, thank you for finally having some common decency. Have a good day. Bye.